Hello, everyone. I'm Natasha, your host for today. If you're new here, I want to let you know that we upload a new English learning video every day to help you improve your English skills faster and more naturally. In today's episode, you'll boost not just your English listening skills, but also your speaking fluency and your ability to understand real-life American English. Today's topic is one of the most practical and useful lessons you'll ever watch. We're talking about the most used American phrases for daily life conversations. These are the phrases that native speakers use constantly, whether they're chatting with friends, asking for help, making plans, or just moving through their daily routines. If you want to sound more natural, more fluent, and more confident in your conversations, then you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll be able to recognize and use these phrases comfortably in your own speech. And of course, I'll also give you practical examples and practice exercises to help you apply what you learn. So, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon if you want to keep learning English with real-life examples every day. Grab a pen and paper because it's time to get started. Let's begin by thinking about how conversations flow in real life. Native English speakers often don't use long or complicated sentences in casual speech. Instead, they rely on short, commonly used phrases that carry a lot of meaning in just a few words. For example, a simple phrase like, "What's up?" can replace a longer question like, "How are you doing today?" or "What's going on in your life?" But if you only study grammar and vocabulary lists, you might miss out on these key phrases that make your English sound alive, friendly, and natural. That's why today's video is all about helping you master those everyday expressions. Imagine you walk into a cafe in New York. The barista might greet you with a cheerful, "Hey, how's it going?" That's a very common American phrase. Now, the literal meaning of "how's it going" is similar to "how are you?" but it sounds much more relaxed and conversational. You could reply, "Not bad. How about you?" Another common phrase that shows you're participating in the social rhythm of American English. These small exchanges are everywhere in daily life, in shops, on public transport, in offices, at the gym, even online. If you can get comfortable with these phrases, your conversations will become smoother and more enjoyable. Let's look at another example. Suppose you're talking to a coworker and they say, "I'm swamped today." If you don't know this phrase, you might be confused. But "I'm swamped" just means, "I'm really busy." Americans love to use colorful expressions like this to describe how they feel or what they're doing. Another similar phrase is, "I've got a lot on my plate," which also means the person has a lot of work or responsibilities at the moment. These are the types of phrases you'll hear all the time in American English, and learning them will help you connect more easily with native speakers. Now, let's do a short practice exercise to help you absorb these phrases. Imagine you're at work and your colleague asks, "Hey, how's it going?" You respond, "Pretty good, just a little tired." "How about you?" Then they say, "I'm swamped. Got back-to-back meetings today." This is a realistic and common type of exchange that you might experience in an American office. Try repeating the whole dialogue out loud, or better yet, write your own version of the conversation using similar phrases. Practicing in context is the best way to remember new expressions and use them naturally. Another area where American phrases shine is when making plans. Let's say you want to suggest meeting up with a friend. You might say, "Wanna grab lunch?" which is a casual way to ask, "Do you want to go have lunch together?" Notice how wanna is used instead of want to. This kind of contraction is very common in spoken American English. Your friend might respond, "Sure, sounds good. I'm down for that." Here, "I'm down" is a phrase that means "I agree" or "I'd like to do that." These are the kinds of phrases that keep conversations light and friendly. Let's do another short practice. Imagine you're texting a friend. You type, "Hey, wanna catch a movie this weekend?" They reply, "Sounds good." "I'm down. Let's do Saturday night." Now it's your turn. Try writing a similar text using these same types of phrases. The more you play with these structures, the easier it will be to use them when you speak. Daily life is full of small moments where the right phrase makes all the difference. Picture this. You're running late to meet someone, and you send them a quick message saying, "Running a bit behind. Be there soon." This is much more natural than saying, "I'm late and will arrive shortly." Or maybe someone asks you for a favor, and you respond, "Sure thing," instead of a formal, "Yes, I can do that." These phrases are part of the rhythm of casual American conversation. They don't just communicate meaning, they communicate tone, mood, and friendliness. Here's a mini story to help you practice. Imagine it's a Saturday morning, and you're heading out to meet a friend at a local cafe. You text, "Hey, just heading out now. Be there in 10. Your friend replies, "Cool, no rush." "I'm chillin' here." Once you arrive, you say, "Hey, sorry I'm a little late." Your friend smiles and says, "No worries. I just got here too." You sit down and say, "Let's grab something to eat. I'm starving." This mini story uses several common phrases: no rush, chilling, no worries, grab something to eat, and I'm starving. All of these are natural and widely used in American English. Now try to rewrite the mini story in your own words, but keep the structure similar. Replace the setting if you like. Maybe you're meeting at a park or a bookstore instead of a cafe. The goal is to practice using real phrases in real situations. Let's continue exploring more commonly used American phrases that you can hear every day in casual conversations. One phrase you'll definitely come across is, "Hang on a sec." This simply means, "Wait a moment." It's often used when someone needs a brief pause to do something before continuing a conversation. For example, if you're on a phone call and someone knocks on your door, you might say, "Hang on a sec, someone's at the door." This phrase is informal, friendly, and perfect for both in-person and phone conversations. A similar phrase is, "Give me a minute," which can also mean you need a little time. Here's a short practice exercise. Imagine you're at your desk working, and your friend calls you. You say, "Hey, hang on a sec, I just need to close my door." After a moment, you continue the conversation. Now try using it in your own situation. Maybe you're cooking and you say, "Hang on, I need to stir the pot." Practicing phrases like this in real situations will make your spoken English more natural and fluent. Now let's move to another very popular American phrase, "No big deal." This is used to say something is not a problem or not important. For instance, if you accidentally bump into someone and say, "Sorry," they might reply, "No big deal." It's a polite and easygoing way of saying, "It's okay." Another similar phrase is "no worries," which is also very common and can be used in the same way. Both of these phrases create a relaxed tone and help keep conversations smooth and friendly. Let's try using both in a short story. Imagine your friend forgot to bring your book back. They apologize and say, "I'm so sorry I forgot your book." You smile and respond, "No big deal. Just bring it next time." Then they add, "Thanks. I'll remember, no worries." This small exchange shows how these phrases can be used to keep communication light and respectful. Try writing your own version of this situation or acting it out loud. Another powerful phrase in American English is, "You bet." It means definitely or of course. It's a short, enthusiastic way of agreeing with someone or confirming that you'll do something. For example, if someone says, "Thanks for helping me," you might reply, "You bet." It shows friendliness and a willingness to help. You might also hear this in restaurants. A waiter might say, "Would you like some more coffee?" And the customer replies, "You bet." It adds energy to the conversation. Let's take another example from everyday life. Imagine someone asks you, "Can you pick me up at 7?" And you say, "You bet. I'll be there." Then they say, "Awesome, thanks." Try saying this dialogue out loud, and then switch roles and try again. Getting comfortable with these expressions will make you sound like a confident English speaker. Sometimes in conversations, we need to express agreement quickly. A common phrase for this is, "I hear you." This doesn't mean you're just hearing the sound. It means you understand what the person is saying, and you relate to it emotionally. For example, if someone says, "Work has been really stressful lately," you can respond, "Yeah, I hear you. It's been the same for me." It shows empathy and connection, which are very important in real conversations. Let's use this in a story. Picture yourself talking with a classmate. They say, "I've got 3 tests this week. I'm exhausted." You nod and say, "I hear you. I've been up late studying too." Then they respond, "Glad I'm not the only one." You've just had a meaningful and natural exchange, using real American English. Try to think of a situation where you can use "I hear you" and say it out loud. Even better, write a small dialogue using it. Another phrase you'll often hear is, "It's up to you." This means the decision depends on the other person. It's often used when making choices together. For example, 2 friends are deciding where to eat. One says, "Should we get burgers or pizza?" And the other says, "It's up to you." It means they're fine with either option and want the other person to decide. This phrase is short, polite, and helps move the conversation forward without any pressure. Try this practice. You and a friend are planning a movie night. You say, "Do you want to watch a comedy or an action film?" Your friend replies, "It's up to you. I'm good with anything." Then you decide, "Okay, let's go with the comedy." Using phrases like this shows flexibility and consideration in your conversations. Practice saying it in different tones, casual, cheerful, or even serious, depending on the context. Here's another common and very American phrase. "I'm good." It can be used in many different ways. Sometimes it means "I'm okay" or "I don't need anything." For example, if someone offers you more coffee, you might say, "No thanks, I'm good." Or if someone asks, "How are you?" you can simply reply, "I'm good." It's a quick, relaxed response that fits many situations. American speakers love simplicity, and this phrase is a perfect example. Let's take a short practice story. You're visiting a friend's house. They say, "Want something to drink?" You reply, "I'm good, thanks." Later they ask, "How have you been?" And you say, "I'm good. Just been busy with work." Try to recreate the story out loud or in writing using your own details. You could change the location or the relationship. Maybe it's a neighbor or a cousin. The key is to use I'm good naturally. Let's also talk about for sure. This is a positive response that means you absolutely agree. For example, someone might say, "That restaurant has the best tacos," and you reply, "For sure. I love their food." It can also mean yes, absolutely, when making plans. Are you coming to the party tonight? For sure. It's upbeat and friendly, often used among friends and coworkers. Here's a quick scenario to practice. Imagine you and your coworker are talking during a break. They say, "This weather makes me want to go to the beach." You say, "For sure. I could use some sun." Later they ask, "Let's grab lunch after this meeting," and you reply, "For sure. Let's do it." Repeating scenes like this with different topics helps you grow your vocabulary while practicing real-life phrases. Lastly, in this part, let's look at I'll pass. This phrase means you're politely refusing something. It's casual and often used when someone offers you food, an invitation, or a suggestion. For example, want to go out for drinks after work? And you respond, "Thanks, but I'll pass. I've got an early morning." It's direct, but not rude, and is widely understood. Practice time. Picture yourself at a party. Someone offers you another slice of cake, and you smile and say, "I'll pass, but thanks." Or you're in a group chat, and someone suggests a weekend road trip, but you're busy. You reply, "Sounds fun, but I'll pass this time." These small decisions and responses help you practice real-life English in a natural, confident way. Let's keep going with more of the most used American phrases that you'll hear in daily conversations. One very common phrase is, "That makes sense." People use this when they understand something or when an explanation is clear. For example, if someone says, "I didn't come to the party because I had a family emergency," you can respond, "Oh, that makes sense." It's a way to show that you understand the situation and that the explanation is reasonable. It helps the conversation flow and shows the speaker that you're listening and understanding them. Let's try it in a practice dialogue. Imagine you're in a study group. A friend says, "I couldn't do the homework because I was traveling all weekend." You reply, "That makes sense. We can go over it together now if you want." Now, create your own sentence using "that makes sense" based on something that happened in your day. Maybe a class was canceled or a meeting was rescheduled. Use it in that context. Practicing with real examples from your life helps you internalize the phrase. Another phrase that's used a lot is, "I'm in." It's used to show that you want to participate or agree with a plan. For instance, if your friend says, "Let's go hiking this weekend," and you reply, "I'm in," it means you agree and want to join. It's short, friendly, and shows enthusiasm. You might also hear, "Count me in," which means the same thing. These phrases are often used in group settings, whether it's about making plans or working on a team project. Let's put this into practice. Imagine your coworker says, "We're starting a book club at work." You respond, "Oh, that sounds cool. I'm in." Or your classmate says, "We're doing a group project together, right?" And you reply, "Yeah, count me in." Now, take a moment to write a sentence using either "I'm in" or "count me in." Use a real event from your life if possible, like an invitation or group activity. This kind of practice will make your spoken English more fluent and fun. Let's move to another phrase. "I'm just messing with you." This means you're joking or not being serious. Americans often say this after teasing someone in a light-hearted way. For example, if someone says something silly, you might respond, "You really think that? Just kidding. I'm just messing with you." It's important to use this phrase with a smile and in situations where everyone is comfortable, because humor can be tricky in different cultures. Still, this phrase is extremely common in casual American English. Here's a short scene. Your friend shows you a funny shirt and says, "I'm going to wear this to the wedding." You look shocked and say, "Seriously?" Then they laugh and say, "Nah, I'm just messing with you." Try writing or saying a similar conversation aloud using this phrase. Think of a time you or someone else joked around and then used "just messing with you" to clarify. Practicing in light, humorous situations will make you more relaxed when speaking English. Next, let's talk about the phrase, "I'm not sure." This phrase is used to show uncertainty. It's polite and honest, and you'll hear it all the time in American speech. If someone asks you a question and you don't know the answer, saying "I'm not sure" is a natural way to respond. For example, "Do you know when the meeting starts?" And you reply, "I'm not sure. I think it's at 3, but I'll check." Let's do a practice scenario. You're talking with a friend who asks, "Is the library open late tonight?" And you respond, "I'm not sure. Want me to look it up?" Then they say, "Yeah, that would be great." Try acting this out loud, or think of a time when you didn't know something and responded naturally with, "I'm not sure." You can even combine it with other polite phrases like, "Let me check," or "I'll find out." Now let's move to another extremely common phrase. It depends. This phrase is often used when there's no fixed answer to a question. For example, if someone asks, "Do you like working from home?" You might say, "It depends. I like the flexibility, but I miss seeing my coworkers." This shows that your answer changes based on different factors. It's a very useful phrase in real conversations because not everything in life has a simple yes or no answer. Let's practice with this in a short dialogue. A friend asks, "Do you want to go out tonight?" You say, "It depends. What time and who else is coming?" Then your friend says, "Just us, around 8. You nod and reply, "Okay, I'm probably in." Try using "it depends" in your own example. Maybe someone asks if you like a certain food or movie. How would you respond with that phrase? Here's another helpful expression. Not really. It means no, but in a softer, more polite way. For example, if someone asks, "Do you like spicy food?" and you don't, you can say, "Not really." It sounds less harsh than just saying no. You can use this phrase to gently disagree or express a mild opinion. Try it in a small scene. You're chatting with a classmate. They ask, "Do you go to the gym a lot?" And you reply, "Not really. I prefer walking outside." Or maybe a coworker says, "Did you like that movie?" And you say, "Not really. It was a bit slow for me." Practice using this phrase to express your opinions in a friendly, calm way. Let's look at one more popular American phrase, "No way." This is often used to show surprise or disbelief. For example, if someone tells you, "I just met a celebrity at the airport," you might respond, "No way." It can be used for both good and bad surprises. Just be sure to use the right tone. High and excited for surprise, or low and doubtful if you don't believe the person. Let's try a fun practice story. Your friend says, "Guess what? I won a free trip to California." You respond, "No way, that's amazing." Then they say, "Yeah, I still can't believe it." Try making up your own situation where someone tells you surprising news and you reply with, "No way." Repeating it in different tones will help you sound more natural and expressive. To wrap up this section, let's quickly review and practice a few of the phrases we covered. Imagine this scene. You and your coworkers are planning an office lunch. Someone asks, "Mexican or Italian?" You say, "It depends. What's everyone in the mood for?" Another coworker says, "I'm in for Mexican." Someone offers you hot sauce, and you reply, "Not really. I don't do spicy." Then a friend says they can't join because of another meeting. You reply, "That makes sense. We'll catch you next time." This short story included several key phrases we've practiced, all flowing together naturally. Try writing your own story using "That makes sense." "I'm in." "Not really." "It depends." And "No way." Pick a real or imagined situation from your life and try to include as many phrases as you can. This will help reinforce your understanding and build fluency. The more you use these expressions in practice, the more they'll become a natural part of your speech. Let's now explore more phrases that Native American English speakers use in daily conversations, especially in casual settings with friends, family, co-workers, and even strangers. One common and useful phrase is, "Sounds good." It's used to show agreement or confirmation in a friendly way. For example, if someone says, "Let's meet at 6, you can reply, "Sounds good." It means you agree with the plan and are fine with it. It's short, polite, and very commonly used in both spoken and text conversations. Another version of it is, "That works for me," which means the same thing. Let's look at a little practice scenario. Your friend says, "I'll call you tonight around 8. You respond, "Sounds good. Talk then." Or, in another example, your classmate says, "Let's work on the project after lunch." You reply, "That works for me." Try making your own sentences with these phrases. Think about your day. If someone invited you to do something or made a plan with you, how would you respond? Use "sounds good" or "that works for me" to agree casually. Another phrase that's extremely common in American English is "take it easy." This phrase is often used when saying goodbye. It's a way to wish someone a relaxed or peaceful time. You might hear it at the end of a conversation between friends or coworkers. For instance, someone might say, "All right, I'm heading out." And the other person replies, "Take it easy." It's friendly and shows care without being too emotional or formal. Let's put it into practice. Imagine you're finishing a phone call. Your friend says, "I've got to go, dinner's ready." You say, "All right, take it easy. Talk to you later." This is a great alternative to always saying bye or goodbye. Now try saying it in your own sentence. You might be leaving work or ending a chat. Use "take it easy" to sound more natural. One more friendly and flexible phrase is, "Let me know." It's used to ask someone to tell you something later, when they have more information. It's often followed by "if" or "when." For example, "Let me know if you're coming tonight," or "Let me know when you're free." You can use it in professional emails, friendly texts, or spoken conversation. Let's see a short example. Your coworker says, "I might be a little late to the meeting." You say, "No problem. Just let me know when you're on your way." Or, you're planning something with a friend, and you say, "Let me know if you change your mind." Now it's your turn. Think of a real situation where you're waiting for someone's reply or decision. Try writing or saying a sentence with, "Let me know." This will help you use it naturally and politely. A very common casual phrase used in American English is, "I gotcha." It's the shortened form of "I got you," and it means, "I understand," or "I'll help you." It can be used to show support or understanding. For instance, if someone explains a problem they're having, you might say, "Gotcha, that sounds tough." Or if a friend drops something and you pick it up for them, you can say, "I gotcha." It shows friendliness and connection in a quick, informal way. Let's try it in a mini scene. Your friend says, "I'll be a little late because of traffic." You reply, "Gotcha. See you when you get here." Or your coworker says, "Can you cover for me during lunch?" And you respond, "Sure, I gotcha." Try to use this phrase in a real-life example from your day. Maybe someone shared something with you, or you helped someone. Use gotcha in your response. Another useful American phrase is, "I'm on it." This means you are already handling something or about to start doing it. It's often used at work or during group tasks. For example, someone says, "Can someone send the email to the client?" And you respond, "I'm on it." It's a confident way of saying, "You're taking care of it." Practice time. You're in a group chat and someone says, "We need to reserve the restaurant." You quickly reply, "I'm on it." Or your teacher says, "Don't forget to submit the assignment." And you say, "I'm on it. Almost done." Now take a moment to think of something you recently took responsibility for. Maybe a chore, an assignment, or a favor. Use "I'm on it" in a sentence about that task. Let's now explore the phrase, "You know what I mean?" Or the shorter version, "You know what I mean?" This is often used to check if the listener understands or agrees. It's common in casual conversations and often follows an explanation or opinion. For example, "That movie was too long. You know what I mean?" It helps make the conversation more interactive and friendly. Here's a short conversation for practice. Your friend says, "I didn't like that new restaurant. It was too noisy. You know what I mean?" You reply, "Yeah, I totally get it." "Not my style either." Now try using the phrase in your own sentence. Think of something you feel strongly about, maybe a TV show, a place, or a situation, and explain it using "You know what I mean?" Another casual phrase that you'll hear all the time is, "It's all good." This phrase is used to say that everything is okay, even if something went wrong. It's a relaxed way of saying, "Don't worry about it." For example, if someone apologizes for being late, you can say, "It's all good." It helps keep the mood light and friendly. Let's look at a practice situation. Your friend shows up late to a lunch meeting and says, "Sorry, I'm late." You smile and respond, "It's all good. I just got here too." This phrase helps take the pressure off others and creates a forgiving, easygoing atmosphere. Try writing or saying a sentence using "It's all good" based on something that happened recently in your life. Now let's talk about "I feel you." This is a phrase that expresses empathy. It means you understand someone's feelings or situation, especially if they're going through something difficult. For instance, someone says, "I've been so overwhelmed with work lately," and you reply, "I feel you. Same here." It's a very informal and friendly way to say you understand and relate. Here's a practice example. Your classmate says, "I'm so tired of exams." You reply, "I feel you. It's been a crazy week." This small expression can make people feel heard and understood. Think of someone in your life who recently told you about a tough day. Try responding with, I feel you, and continue the conversation from there. To end this section, let's tie several phrases together in a short story for review. You're planning a weekend trip with friends. One of them says, let's leave early on Saturday, like 7 a.m. You reply, sounds good. That works for me. Another friend says, not sure if I'll make it that early. You respond, let me know what works best. Someone apologizes for possibly being late, and you say, it's all good, we'll wait. During the trip, your friend vents, this traffic is killing me, and you reply, I feel you. Then someone asks, can you take care of the tickets? You say, I'm on it. These simple, common phrases fill real conversations and make your English sound fluid and confident. Let's keep going with more American phrases that are used all the time in everyday life. One of the most popular and relaxed phrases is, it is what it is. This phrase is often used to accept something that can't be changed. It means the situation may not be ideal, but you accept it anyway. For example, if someone says, the flight got delayed again, you might respond with, well, it is what it is. It shows acceptance without too much emotion or complaint. It's a common way to stay calm when things don't go as planned. Let's do a short practice scene. Your coworker tells you, the deadline just got moved up. We have less time now. You sigh and say, wow, it is what it is. Let's do our best. Or imagine your friend couldn't get tickets for a concert. They say, I tried everything, but they're sold out. You say, oh man. Well, it is what it is. Try to think of a recent situation where you couldn't control the outcome. Use this phrase to respond to it in a calm and accepting way. Another very American phrase is, I'm down. This means I'm interested, or I agree to do it. It's casual and very commonly used when making plans. For example, if someone says, do you want to go to the beach this weekend? You could reply, yeah, I'm down. It shows enthusiasm and willingness. People often use this instead of just saying yes in informal settings. Let's try a practice example. A friend says, let's have a game night Friday. You reply, totally, I'm down. Or someone suggests, we should try that new burger place. And you say, I'm down for that. Now create your own version of a plan or an invitation and answer with, I'm down. Saying it aloud will help you remember it for real conversations. Next up is a phrase you've likely heard many times in American movies or TV shows. Long time no see. It's a friendly way to greet someone you haven't seen in a while. It's informal and warm, and it works in many situations. For example, if you run into an old classmate, you can smile and say, hey, long time no see? It immediately adds friendliness to the reunion. Let's use this in a scene. Imagine you meet a former coworker at the grocery store. You say, hey, long time no see. How have you been? They reply, I've been good. What about you? Now try creating your own greeting using this phrase. Think about someone you haven't talked to in a while and write a sentence starting with long time no see. Another very common American phrase is, I'll get back to you. This is used when you don't have an answer right away, but will respond later. It's helpful in both casual and professional settings. For example, if someone asks, are you free Saturday night? And you're not sure, you can say, let me check, and I'll get back to you. It shows that you're taking the question seriously and will respond soon. Let's use this in a practice situation. Your coworker asks, Can you join the team meeting on Friday? You reply, I might have a conflict. Let me check, and I'll get back to you. This phrase helps you buy time, without saying no or yes right away. Think of a time when you needed to delay your answer. Use this phrase to respond, and say it aloud. Now let's talk about a phrase that sounds polite and is often used when asking for favors. Would you mind? It's a very soft and respectful way to make a request. For example, would you mind closing the window? Or, would you mind helping me carry this? It's more polite than saying, can you, or do this. Americans often use it to show kindness and avoid sounding too direct. Here's a short example. You're at a cafe and you say to the barista, would you mind heating this up a little more? Or in the office, would you mind sending me that file when you're free? Try saying a few requests using would you mind to get comfortable with the polite tone. You can even practice by asking yourself in the mirror. Another useful phrase you'll hear everywhere is, by the way. This is used to add something extra to a conversation, often changing the topic slightly. For instance, by the way, did you hear about the new policy? Or, by the way, I saw your post on Instagram. Nice photo. It's a smooth way to transition or bring something new into a discussion. Let's do a quick dialogue. Your friend is talking about their weekend, and you say, sounds fun. By the way, are you still coming to dinner tomorrow? Or someone says, I watched that new movie, and you respond, oh, cool. By the way, I got free tickets if you want to go next week. Now think of something new you could bring into a conversation with a friend and practice using by the way. Let's explore the phrase, you never know. This is used to say that anything can happen, often in a hopeful or uncertain way. For example, if someone says, I applied for that job, but I probably won't get it, you can reply, hey, you never know. It's a way of staying positive or realistic about the unknown. It's very common in American conversations, especially when giving encouragement. Here's a short practice scene. Your classmate says, I doubt I'll win the scholarship. You say, you never know. You've got a good shot. Or your friend says, I think it's going to rain today. And you respond, you never know. The weather changes all the time. Try using it in your own sentence, maybe about something you're waiting for or thinking about. Another phrase often used when giving advice or warnings is, better safe than sorry. It means it's wiser to be careful than to take a risk and regret it later. For example, I brought an umbrella even though it looked sunny. Better safe than sorry. It's a common phrase used in both friendly and serious situations. Let's practice. Imagine your friend says, do you think I should lock the door even if we're just going out for a short time? You reply, yeah, better safe than sorry. Or someone asks, should I back up my files before updating the software? You answer, definitely. Better safe than sorry. Think of a situation where you did something cautious. Use this phrase in a sentence about it. Let's end this part with a story that uses several of today's phrases. Imagine you're at work, and a coworker you haven't seen in a while walks in. You say, hey, long time no see. They smile and say, yeah, it's been a minute. You chat for a bit. And they say, we should grab coffee later. You say, I'm down. Just let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you. While leaving, they mention something funny and you reply, by the way, that reminds me of something similar. Later in the day, it starts raining unexpectedly. You say, good thing I brought my umbrella. Better safe than sorry. Your coworker says, wow, you were prepared. And you laugh and say, Well, you never know. Now it's your turn. Use the phrases long time no see, I'm down, I'll get back to you, by the way, you never know, and better safe than sorry in your own story or situation. Saying them out loud will help you gain confidence, and using them in writing will help you remember their meaning clearly. Let's wrap up this lesson by covering a few more incredibly common American phrases and giving you plenty of opportunities to practice them. One phrase you'll hear in almost every kind of situation is, fingers crossed. This is used to express hope or wish for a good outcome. For example, if someone is waiting to hear back about a job interview, they might say, I really hope I get the job. Fingers crossed. You might also say it to someone else to show your support, like fingers crossed you pass your exam. It adds a warm and encouraging touch to conversations. Let's do a quick practice. Your friend says, I submitted my application yesterday. You smile and say, awesome, fingers crossed for good news. Or you could say, I'm taking my driving test tomorrow. And your sibling responds, fingers crossed. You'll do great. Try using this phrase about something you're hoping for. It can be something big or small. Just say it aloud or write it down, and get comfortable with it. Another phrase you'll hear regularly is, can't complain. This is usually said in response to, how are you? And it means things are fine, not perfect, but there's nothing to complain about. It's a modest and laid-back way to express that life is okay. For example, hey, how have you been? And someone answers, I'm good, can't complain. It's very American in tone and keeps the conversation light and positive. Practice this one in a short interaction. A coworker says, how's your day going? And you respond, pretty good, can't complain. Or a neighbor asks, how's life treating you? And you say, same old, can't complain. Try repeating this out loud a few times with different variations to make it feel natural in your speech. Next, let's look at, I'm beat. This is a casual way to say, I'm really tired. It's a phrase used often at the end of a long day or after doing something exhausting. For example, I was up all night working on that report. I'm beat. It's short, expressive, and very commonly heard in both work and home environments. Let's use it in a mini story. You finish your shift and meet a friend who asks, want to hang out tonight? You shake your head and say, not tonight, I'm beat. Or after a workout, your gym buddy says, how are you feeling? And you laugh. Man, I'm beat! Try using this phrase after a tiring moment in your day. It's useful and sounds natural in everyday conversations. Another expression you'll want to know is out of the blue. This means something happens suddenly and unexpectedly. For example, he called me out of the blue after 5 years. It describes surprise and can be used in both positive and negative situations. It adds color to your stories and makes them more engaging. Here's a practice scene. Your friend says, how did you hear from Rachel? And you reply, she texted me out of the blue last night. Or your boss says, why were you late? And you say, my tire blew out, just happened out of the blue. Think of something surprising that happened recently and describe it using this phrase. Practice saying it aloud in a complete sentence. Let's explore the phrase, I'll take a rain check. This means you're politely declining an invitation, but you're open to doing it later. For example, if someone says, do you want to go for dinner tonight? And you're busy, you might say, thanks, but I'll take a rain check. It shows respect and interest without committing right now. It's a classic American phrase, used often among friends and colleagues. Practice with this example. Your friend says, "Let's go shopping after work." You respond, "Ah, I've got errands today. Can I take a rain check?" Or your cousin invites you to a party and you say, "Sounds fun, but I've got plans. Rain check?" Use it now in a sentence where you politely say no, but leave the door open for another time. Here's another one. Hit me up. This phrase means contact me or call or text me. It's a friendly and casual way to tell someone to get in touch. For instance, if you're free this weekend, hit me up. Or, I'm always around, just hit me up if you need anything. You'll often hear it in texts and spoken English, especially among younger people. Let's put it in a short dialogue. A friend says, "Let's hang out sometime." And you reply, "Sure, hit me up when you're free." Or someone says, "I need help with my resume." And you respond, "No problem, hit me up later and I'll take a look." Now try it in your own sentence. Say it out loud as if you're texting or calling someone soon. Let's talk about the phrase, "Let's call it a day." It means it's time to stop working or doing something, for now. It's commonly used at work or after completing a task. For example, "We've done enough for today. Let's call it a day." It's a friendly way to end the day's efforts and move on to rest or something else. Practice it like this. You and your colleague have been working on a report for hours. You look at the clock and say, "All right, we've made great progress. Let's call it a day." Or you've been cleaning your house and say to your roommate, "Okay, this place looks great. Let's call it a day." Try using this phrase when wrapping up something you've been doing. Another everyday phrase is, "That's a good one." People say this when they hear a funny joke or a clever comment. It's often used with a smile or a laugh. For instance, "Why don't scientists trust atoms?" "Because they make up everything." You laugh and say, "Ha ha, that's a good one." It's great for light-hearted conversations. Here's a short example. You're chatting with friends, and one of them tells a funny story. You laugh and say, "That's a good one. I needed that laugh." Now come up with your own mini joke or memory and respond to it using the phrase. You can even say it after watching a funny video or reading something clever. Let's tie this all together in a closing story. Imagine you've had a long day at work. Your friend texts, "Want to grab dinner?" But you reply, "I'll take a rain check. I'm beat." They say, "No problem, hit me up when you're free." The next day, something surprising happens and you text them. "Guess what? Out of the blue, my old college roommate called me." You share the story, laugh together, and at the end of your day, you say to yourself, "Let's call it a day." You've just used several common American phrases in natural, real-life conversation. To finish, take a few minutes to review all the phrases from today's lesson. Try to create your own conversations, journal entries, or even text messages using "Fingers crossed," "Can't complain," "I'm beat," "Out of the blue," "I'll take a rain check," "Hit me up," "Let's call it a day," and "That's a good one." The more you use them, the more fluent and confident you'll become. And remember, fluency doesn't come from memorizing rules. It comes from living the language, one phrase at a time. Keep practicing. And soon these American phrases will become part of how you think and speak. Thanks a lot for spending your time with me today and practicing these powerful American phrases. I hope you found this lesson helpful and that you'll start using these expressions in your daily conversations. Don't worry about being perfect. The key is to stay consistent, keep practicing, and enjoy the process of learning. If you liked today's episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our daily English lessons. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay notified whenever we upload a new video. This is Natasha signing off. Keep learning, keep growing. And I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care and happy learning.